This episode will cover metallic structures. What are 4 common basic stresses on an aircraft? They are tension, compression, shear, and bearing. What is the grip length of a rivet? The grip length is the combined thickness of the materials to be joined by the rivet. Where are special rivets such as huck or cherry lock rivets used? They are used in places where access to both sides of the riveted structure is impossible, or where limited space will not permit the use of a bucking bar. These rivets require special tools, installation, and removal procedures. They are commonly called blind rivets. What is bonded honeycomb construction? It is a laminar construction consisting of a combination of alternating dissimilar metals, assembled and fixed in relation to each other, so that the properties of each can be used to attain specific structural advantage for the whole assembly while reducing weight. What type of materials are used in honeycomb construction? Honeycomb construction may employ stainless steel, titanium, magnesium, plywood, resin-impregnated paper, e-glass, nylon in various combinations. Where are sandwich construction assemblies used? They are used for such areas as bulkheads, control surfaces, fuselage panels, wing panels, radomes, empennage skins, or shear webs. What calculations must be made when bending sheet metal? Setback and bend allowance. What factors are used to determine setback? The radius of the bend and the thickness of the material. Setback equals radius plus thickness. When bending sheet metal, how should the grain be in relation to the bend? The grain should be perpendicular to the bend. What is a bend tangent line? The line at which the metal starts to bend. What is a joggle? A joggle is an offset near the edge of a piece of sheet metal to allow clearance for sheet or extrusion. What are several methods used in forming sheet metal? Folding, bumping, crimping, shrinking, and stretching. What kind of metal forming is done by bumping? Compound curves. What are the proper dimensions for the shop head of a rivet? (1.5 times the diameter in width and 0.5 times the diameter in height after bucking. Briefly describe the anodizing process and what purpose it serves. Aluminum alloys are placed in an electrolytic bath, which causes a thin film of hydroxide to form on the surface of the aluminum. This anodized coating not only provides excellent resistance to corrosion, but it is also an excellent bond for paint. What size drill should be used for the common shank rivet diameters of 3/32 of an inch, 4/32 of an inch, 5/32 of an inch? For a 3/32 rivet, a number 40. For a 4/32 rivet, a number 30. And for a 5/32 rivet, a number 21. What is a lightning hole? Lightning holes are cut into the rib sections, fuselage frames, and other structural parts to decrease weight. Flanges are pressed around the holes for strength. When cutting a piece of sheet metal at the edge and you bend the corners in, what needs to be done? You must drill a relief hole. When riveting, what are some safety considerations to be made? Wear safety glasses, do not point the rivet gun, wear gloves, and don't hold down the trigger. What are the markings on rivet heads and what do they mean? The markings on the rivet head tell you the type of material. AD is a dimple, A is plain, and D is a raised dot. Double D is a double dash. What type of aircraft structure uses aircraft skin to support the load? Monocoque. What type of shielding gases are used for gas tungsten arc welding? Helium and argon. If you do a circle sheet metal patch with 8 rivets, how many degrees apart should the rivets be? "45 degrees apart. How is the inner sleeve tube held in the structural tube until the gap is welded? It is held in place with the rosette welds. Why doesn't a TIG welder use flux? It has helium shielding gas. When opening an acetylene container, how many turns is the valve turned? 1.5 times.